Hey, Bill, Facebook's been in the news a lot lately, and we're seeing a growing list of companies, among them Patagonia, REI, Ben& Jerry's, planning to boycott Facebook ads until the tech giant takes meaningful action to address misinformation and hate speech on its platform. Even marketing giant P&G's brand officer said recently that he hasn't ruled this out. Facebook's a major pillar of your business. It's the second largest digital marketer, generating about $70 billion in advertising last year alone. Where do you see this going, and how are you advising your clients?
So we just recently, John, sent out a really large piece on our perspective of whether or not our clients should be boycotting Facebook or not. And in our opinion, we're laying out the risks of their position. So if they boycott Facebook, what are the risks? And if they don't boycott Facebook, what are the risks? Obviously, this is not my money. This is my client's money. So the ultimate decision has to lie with them in terms of how they want, going back to how they want their brand to behave. But from a macro perspective, Facebook, is putting a lot of pieces in place to try to get hate speech, completely removed, zero across their platform. Right now, they're removing about 89%. So they got about 11% to go. But when you think about the volume of messaging that's on Facebook, that's an enormous amount. And they're putting things in place to get that to hopefully a place where one day that we're at zero. My perspective on this is that it's not just Facebook. There are issues with, one might say, with Fox News. There are issues that people may have with CNN. There are issues that people may have with Google with regard to material and information that is getting on their platform. And I'm a little concerned that if we just zero in on one company and we don't deal with it as from an industry perspective of setting standards and guidelines and metrics and measurement of where we want to go as an industry, that this just turns into a PR play and we're not holding everybody accountable. And where do the
right? Sorry to jump in. It may not be right, but do you see momentum picking up where Facebook is the target and they have a real problem in this, or do you think that it's manageable and the largest brands and the largest media companies are going to sort of take this balanced approach that you're talking about?
So number one, publicly, and I think as we are talking this morning, I have not been informed of one top 20 advertiser that's pulling out of Facebook. That's number one. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not pausing or slowing down, but not one of them have made a public statement that they're pulling out. I think if we started to see that, there's a bit of a sheep and herd mentality that more people will start to pull out. And you and I had this conversation, first question you asked me about how brands behave. It'd be very interesting to see which ones come out publicly and say they're taking this stance. So I think, John, the next couple of days are critical as to if more and more dominoes start to fall and more clients come out publicly. I then believe that this thing is going to pick up steam and more clients will sit on the sidelines and wait it out because they don't want to be singled out as someone who stayed when everybody else came away. And I think the next 3 days are critical when we see if this thing is building momentum or not. Right now, the jury's still out.
If you guys like what you see, subscribe right here.